This week on the show, where one path ends, another begins. We're going to give our review of the final episode of Living Story Season 3 and what we've seen so far of the next expansion, Path of Fire. We also have what we call news and plenty of new theories and speculation. We're ready to ride off into the desert on Shadow of the Dragon.
Dragon. This is episode 46, and I'm Cora, joined by my most handsomest and delicious making of soups, Gallios. Sorry, we were just talking about gumbo.
What a wonderful intro. The most handsomest and excellent maker of soups. That's me.
And then there's Gord.
Yeah, there's me. I make soup too.
Yeah, but is it gumbo?
No, it's like potato soup or tomato soup.
I love potato soup.
Yeah,
potato soup is delicious, but then you said tomato soup, and that is not so delicious.
Really? Tomato soup is a staple in New York.
That it is, with grilled cheese sandwiches.
Ah, see, that's my boy right there. So what's up, everybody? Switching it up a little bit. Cora did the intro. She did a fair job.
Fair job.
Fair job.
She has a wonderful voice for it, though.
Aw, thank you.
Aw. All right, so you guys know how it works. What have you been up to this week, Gallios?
I've been quiet this week. I've been working my tail off. We went to Florida. Some friends of ours are getting married, and so we went ahead of time and checked out their new house that they have, like, right dead center of Pensacola Beach. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
So that was nice to get away for a couple of days. And then we came back home. There's a lot of work to do. I worked my way back from Florida. So my family got home before I did, but mostly a lot of work. I did have some time to play a little, played the new expansion. I mean, not the expansion, but the final Living Story episode. I did a little bit of World v. World just because I'm trying to get, I'd like to work on getting some of the tickets. So I did put some time in. I enjoy it anyway. So I got about 30 tickets a week, just farting around. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty quiet at the old Gallios homestead. What about you, Cora?
I have done nothing. I was actually on the Guild Mag pre-show and post-show when they had the expansion pack announcement, but other than that, I've not been able to get in game because I moved out of my apartment last week, and I'm currently house sitting for a friend out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't have my desktop with me because it's massive. So I'm working on my Alienware laptop, which I bought so it could run games, but then I upgraded it to Windows 10, or actually Windows 10 forced itself to upgrade, and it totally just borked the computer, so now I can't run Guild Wars.
Yeah,
it's having like graphics cards driver issues, and when I try to download the drivers, it's like they don't download. So I need to take it somewhere and see if they can fix that or install new drivers. But that's going to cost money.
I can remote in and fix it for you.
I was going to say, let one of us deal with that because both of us know how.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Can we do that? Let's do that.
Let's save Cora some money.
I would really like to be able to play Guild Wars 2, especially with the preview weekend coming up. I want to get in there. I know Gord was saying he's not going to, but I want to see the pretties.
I might not be able to resist, but my plan as of right now is I don't really want to spoil the story. Well, I'll let you finish up and then I'll get into it.
No, that's okay. So that was pretty much my week, and then I had a job interview today that I bombed. Everybody should bomb a job interview once in their life. That way, years down the line, you can share your knowledge about, like, it happens. You know, don't cry over spilled milk. It's not a big deal. There's other jobs out there in the sea. But yeah, totally tanked it. That was good feeling. But the day, well, I mean, it's not over yet because now we're doing this, but the day has ended on a good note because a real world friend told me they were going to do this. And I thanked them profusely. And then they did it and sent it to me today. They bought me the deluxe version of the expansion pack.
Nice.
Yeah, totally a surprise. I was not, and like I said, they told me the day it was announced, hey, if you haven't bought it, don't buy it. I'm buying it for you. And then, yeah, I got it today, so that was like perfect timing. Tanked the job interview, feeling pretty low. Hey, here's the deluxe edition. And they didn't tell me they were getting me the deluxe. I thought they were just going to like the standard low cost, like, and I was going to be fully happy with that.
Yeah.
So they surprised me with the deluxe, and I'm, like I said, I'm over the moon. 1, that I have the expansion. 2, that it was a gift from an awesome friend, and 3, that I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I ponied up for the ultimate because you end up getting $50 worth of gems for about $25 or $30. You get $20 off, I think. So
it's like 50%.
Well,
it's almost 50% off.
Well worth it. I'm just waiting. But are you done, Cora?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Oh.
Let's talk about your week, Gord. Gord, the most Gordtastic of Gords.
I'm like chomping at the bit because I'll share my feelings on the expansion and stuff in the proper segment. But I did One Path Ends, which was, I'll get into it. Mixed bag there for me, but it did a little bit of dub-dub, and you know, I have to say, you guys have done it. You guys have killed my love for dub-dub. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh no.
4 pips can kiss the brownest part of my butt, is what I'm saying, because it's just painful. And if you have plenty of time to waste to pip farm without the outnumbered, averaging at 4 pips per tick, that's great, you know, but I don't have that kind of time. So I'm at the point now where I have to decide, and I've given up on the backpack for now. So I'm finishing my Flameseeker Prophecies because I didn't say, see, I'm going to do poop sandwiches from now on. So I'm going to do something nice, then the poop, then the nice.
That's wait, did you say poop, then nice, then poop, or nice, then poop, then nice?
Nice, then poop, then nice. So my nice was I bought the Ultimate Edition of the expansion, Path of Fire, day 1.
Okay.
Then the poop was they killed my love for dub. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and now the nice.
And now the nice is, on day 1, when One Path Ends dropped, I bought keys. I bought 25 keys. And on my very last key, guess what I got? You're muted,
probably.
Gallios.
I saw.
I did not see.
Let's see if Cora remembers.
I'm guessing it's something that's going to cause me pain.
I got the advanced leather rack for the home instance.
Oh.
And I promptly sold that bad boy for 1,000 gold.
1,000.
Oh my
Boom!
You make me sick.
I was so happy. You're not the only one. Romo was like spitting wooden nickels in Discord. He was pretty pissed off. And, you know, I made sure I splattered it all over our Discord. This is why I buy keys, because that was really, really sweet. And I sold it right away because there was only 2 buy orders for 1,000 gold, but it's actually up to 1,200 gold. So when my 4,000 gems come from buying the Ultimate Edition, I'm going to buy more keys and hope I get another one just so I can sell it again. If I do end up getting another one after I pick myself up off the floor, because it'll be like lightning striking twice, I decided I'm going to buy a legendary, because once I finish Flameseeker Prophecies, I will only have 5 more Series 1 legendaries to make, and I will have the complete set.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that.
I got my gems today, so you might want to check.
Well, when I bought it, I didn't quite understand. I used Inkslink because I made sure I put out a tweet, because I think people don't think of it. When you're buying pre-orders and stuff like that, you can help support partners by just going to their page and clicking on their link. A lot of the partners put their links up, but I made sure I tweeted it out to remind people, you know, buy through your favorite people. So I went through Inkslink because I want him to get a good computer, because I love his videos and I want to see more. But anyway, there's 2 things with that. The first was, I wish there was some kind of verification that you actually are giving credit to that partner. some kind of confirmation because I didn't get that. And the second thing is I didn't realize, even though I logged in to my account, when I got the email, I had to register the code to my account. And I was even further confused because Path of Fire showed up in my listing of games, but it was grayed out. So it took me a day to realize that I had to register my code to my account, even though I bought it through my account. It was weird. So I got kicked back another day. So, but I got all my stuff. I got my Sunspear stuff. I got an identity repair kit, which actually worked out great because the name change contracts are very expensive in the gem shop. And I named my Revenant Gord the Traveler, which I absolutely hate that name. So I'm going to use that to change his name to something more fitting.
I just need character slots, like a bunch of them, because with all the new elite stuff, I want all the things. I want things. I want lots of things. Mm-hmm. So
that'll give me my 13th or 14th slot, I think.
Yeah, I would have a few.
But yeah. I have a couple mule accounts. So my newest slot that I got with Path of Fire is I'm going to make Gord the Librarian and make it my mule tune to hold all my books because I don't throw my books away. Mm. So he or she's just gonna hold all my books.
Yeah, they need a better system for once you complete those books. Like, we need like a library.
Yeah, somebody had said that a home instance library or something like that would be really cool. But yeah. And then you also, if you got the deluxe edition, you should have got the level 80 boost, which gives you another shared inventory slot, which is, I mean, the pricing is phenomenal, really, which we'll get into next segment. But that was it. Yeah, I played One Path Ends, and I did 1.5 playthroughs on One Path Ends, and I usually try and do 2 before the show, but I ran out of time because I was trying to do WW, and the past 2 weeks I just got wood chest because it's just grindamania. So that's all I did.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Still sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you played the living story though, since that's what
like
the show's
I wasn't
about
going
this
to.
week.
I went into work. I went into work at 6 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday so that I could leave at 2 o'clock on Tuesday and have time. No, I left at 1 o'clock on Tuesday so I would have time to come home and play through because I couldn't. And I only got about halfway through in 3 hours. I think I played. I got about halfway through.
I was, well, because I'm unemployed right now. I was home, so I started playing immediately, or as soon as I could, and I got 4/5 of the way through. I got all the way to the final fight, and it was lagging so hard.
Yeah, I heard that.
On my super, like, souped up desktop, it was lagging to the point, like, my character wasn't moving and then would, like, jump.
I think that was server lag, though. I don't think that was computer.
No. It wasn't my computer. I could tell because it's never my computer. It's never my desktop. So I knew, I was like, it's either their servers are being attacked or the servers are just overwhelmed. So I was so upset. I stepped away and I went back to packing. And then somebody on Twitter said, oh, well, that's okay because now they're saving your progress. Like, you don't have to start back at the beginning of that
instance.
It's not the instance, yeah. So I was like, it's not the episode. Because that was part of the reason why I didn't jump back in like in an hour later, because I was like, I just can't. I can't do the whole instance again. So now that they're saving, that's awesome. But then my whole focus was on packing for the move out, and I didn't get back in time. So I had to go on YouTube and watch you play through to see the end of the instance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't get it. Well, my hope was like, oh, well, the Alienware.
Yeah.
Like, it's been borked from the updates, but like they've made updates in the year since, so I'll download all the new updates and then it'll function. And it didn't function, and there was no way I could go into doing the Guild Mag show not having seen the end. So yeah, so I was like, well, it's fine. I mean, Gallios did it for how long?
He did the whole chapter,
Yeah. So I'm hoping that my situation will not be months. I'm hoping it's the next place I'm crashing that I'll have place to set up my massive PC. Or you two with your fabulousness will fix this one. You will unbork the borked laptop. Gallios is laughing.
We can try. I can try.
Yeah.
I can fix anything.
It's worth a shot. I mean, you just got to get one of us in via GoToMeeting or something like that.
I had
Log
no
me in.
issues with Windows 10 on my desktop, on my laptop, on my wife's laptop, on my son's desktop, which I kind of took for my recording because he wasn't using it anymore. I didn't have any problems. So we can set up a remote connection. I can remote in when I have some time, and I'll take a look at it, get it straightened out for you.
Awesome. Yeah, just let me know because I'm still up here until next Sunday. So
cool.
Yeah. Anyways, so I guess that's it for all of us.
That's it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our intros. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with what we call news. Quick break. This way I like it. All right, so there was plenty of news around around the expansion. We're not going to cover that because what we're going to do is we're going to go through our reactions to One Path Ends, and then we're going to go into our reactions to the live stream that ANET did and what we saw of the expansion. So, but there was some significant news. I was actually not going to do a news segment this show, but we did have some significant news, and the first being that armor upgrades. All right, so they did armor upgrades. So as of August 8th, the second tier WW armor and PvP armor is going to have attributes of legendary armor. This is not a popular decision in many ways around. So you're not going to get the transition effects or transformation effects of legendary armor, but what you will get is the stat swapping capabilities without the skin. So you'll have the functionality of the armor, but you won't have the look of the armor. A lot of raiders, from what I saw, were pretty pissed off about it. I don't think it's a very good fix or alternative. I think it's a nice try, but where it fails for me is my avenue would be for WW, and between the abysmal ticket drops right now in WW and the amount of time that you have to put in just to get 175 tickets in a week, which would still take, I believe, 7 weeks per piece. Am I right on that, Gallios? It's about 7 weeks per piece?
For
or 7
each
weeks
piece
per
of
set?
the armor?
It's either 7 weeks for the set or 7 weeks per piece of the ascended armor.
Oh man, you put me on the spot here because
buddy.
I don't remember. I think it was about 175 per piece.
So that's a
on
week.
The tickets.
Yeah, so then you're talking 7 weeks to get the tickets if you max out diamond. So that's 1 week per piece. So 6 weeks total to get the piece in WW, where in PvP I feel it's a lot easier. And I've seen on Reddit that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 hours to get a full set in PvP. That would be to get diamond, I believe, at best case scenario, was somewhere around 19 to 23 hours per week. For me, it's more like 40 hours per week, and it's not worth it. It's 10 times or 6 times longer to get the armor in WW than it is in PvP, and it's a heck of a lot harder to get it in PvE. So I don't want to crap on ANET for this because I think that they were trying to give an avenue where they could have that stat swapping ability for people that don't raid at all. So it is another avenue for them, but I just feel like everybody's going to chase it in PvP because just like the back piece, the PvP is easier to get. So whatever.
I just jumped in to see if I could find out, and it looks like everything is queued. So I might not be able to see. I'm trying to remember the exact amount because I looked at it at the beginning and then I just said, it's going to take a while. There's no sense in torturing myself every day.
Give me a second. So, let me just check the wiki. The tier 2 armor is going to cost over 1,300 tickets, where from what I read, it takes about 30 hours to get to PvP. So if you want this functionality, just get the Ascendant piece in PvP because WW is borked beyond recognition. All right, so next, gliding is also incoming to dub. Now, some people have kind of said that this is bad or whatever. I find it interesting. They implemented a territory system. So on August 8th, we're getting gliding in dub, but it's not based on the gliding mastery. But you do have to have Heart of Thorns to have it, from what I'm reading. So it says the team has been working hard on a way to make gliding in dub feel fun and fair by using their brand new territory system. And they believe they finally came up with a way to accomplish the goal. So introducing the territory system, each objective in dub now has a territory associated with it. And the ownership of each objective is displayed by map outlines in the color of the owning team. So in addition to the map displaying the territory, the dub score UI now displays the objective of your current territory next to the war score your team is earning that tick. The objective icon functions the same way as it does in the map, and clicking it will open the objective upgrades panel. So how gliding works now, gliding in dub does not require unlocking gliding through PvE masteries. Instead, you can acquire gliding by using ability points in the new Heart of Thorns War Gliding Mastery. War Gliding Mastery is available to those who own Heart of Thorns and allows gliding in territories that your team owns in the Mistwar maps. So that's EB, Alpine Borderland, Desert Borderland, and that's that. If you enter a territory that you do not own while gliding, you'll be kicked from your glider. So they made several map adjustments to the Eternal Battlegrounds and all the other Borderland maps to better accommodate gliding. Besides map adjustments, they have also replaced Ballista's fourth skill with an anti-air bolt skill that shoots people out of the air and immobilizes them for a short duration. That's kind of cool.
It's gonna be some funny stuff. People dropping like the birds.
So it's important to keep in mind that this is a test for gliders in dub. If they discover with this test that gliding is not appropriate for dub, they will immediately disable it. So they're also doing an ability point reset, because if you're like me, all your ability points are spent. So if you want to be able to glide, they're giving you the ability to go to see a vendor and reset your ability points. Hopefully you can just reset a line and not have to reset the entire thing, because that's a lot of points to have to respend. So mixed reception on the forums as of right now.
I'm mixed about it myself. I'm not quite sure yet. There's so many things I have to think about before I make a firm opinion on it.
Well, is it like Bloodstone Fen? Are we gonna have fighting skills while we're in the air, or are we just gliding? Are we going to be able to glide over a wall? No, because we're going to have to own the objective. But I mean, there's things that we have to consider.
Yeah, my guess is it's going to be for maybe some faster navigation on stuff that you own. Yeah. So you need to get to you want to get somewhere to defend. Let's just take an Alpine Borderland, for instance, and you have Citadel. So your northeast tower's about to get attacked, or you see that the enemy's headed that direction. You run out to that section, and instead of trying to go all the way around like you have to do so you don't fall to your death, maybe you can just run to the end of the cliff and jump off, and it gives you a fast way
and glide right into the tower.
Yeah, and glide into the tower. I mean, we don't know yet. What about maybe getting to the garrison quicker if you need to defend garrison? So I would assume that they won't give an offensive tactical advantage, but I can see them giving it as a defensive tactical advantage, speed-wise.
I could see that.
That's all I can see it for.
I mean, you might, if it's successful, they might add, attacks like Bloodstone Fen. So, yeah. But this is all coming
could be fun. It could be fun,
Could be. It's another way. I mean, I don't know. People are kind of knee-jerk reaction. It might sound silly, but it might end up being in the game and sound. It might play great. It might not.
I'm kind of leaning to the I don't think it will work thing, but at least it's something to try. I mean, got to liven something up somewhere. Might be fun to watch people fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But it's better to see something attempted than nothing attempted.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, that's all the late-breaking news I decided to pull. Everything else is going to be involved with the expansion and so on and so forth. Corey, you have any stealth news?
No.
All right, that was a convincing no.
I just wish people could see your face when you do that.
No.
I mean, one of these days we could take like some video capture and make somebody turn it into a GIF.
Well, Gord's going to be finally putting us out there for the whole world to see. So
yeah. Oh, well,
eventually people will see this stuff.
Here's some stealth news. All of the, well, not all, but relatively soon, episode 30 through 45 and 46 will follow is now available on the SOTD YouTube channel. So we have audio recordings. Now, I did put a static image in to make it a video. But all our podcasts are now available on YouTube from episode 30 through 45. 46 will follow. And then I'm going to upload the entire catalog up there. But anyway, it's a static picture with the audio from the podcast. And I purposely rendered it in 640 by 480 because I figured there is no video going on. It's just a static picture. So keep the bandwidth down if people are streaming it on their mobile phones. And it's just another way that the show is available. So if you prefer YouTube over streaming on a website or iHeartRadio or Google Music or iTunes or whatever you're listening to it on, then that's another avenue. So more stealth news.
Excellent.
You got to make stuff up because everything was around the expansion.
Yeah, everything's going to be expansion.
All right. So here we go. We're going to dive into One Path Ends and also then follow that up with our reactions to the expansion announcement and so on and so forth. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And welcome back.
Woo!
All right, so we've all played the story. We all know how this works. We're going to follow this in order. Well, let's start with the map. What did you guys think of the new map?
I'm glad they opened up the area.
Yes.
I thought it was a little small.
It was smaller than I was hoping, but I'm glad they opened up the area a little bit. I wouldn't say it just blew me out of the water or anything.
It was a decent map.
Yeah, but it looked nice. I mean,
I thought it was a nice looking map. I think they were doing some interesting choices with it. I still hate this new let's not put waypoints anywhere thing because they want you to
girly get used to it.
Transport other ways. I'm not a fan of that. And I still haven't done any of those transport masteries from the other maps. So, I mean, that's on me, but
did you do the mastery from this map?
No. It's
not transport at all. It is the most worthless mastery I have ever encountered. All right, so you get your experience and you spend 7 mastery points from Heart of Thorns.
Oh, I'm not doing that. But what is it?
I didn't realize it. I didn't know what it did. I did the training, and what it is you play a musical instrument, which gives you a buff or gives a debuff to the enemy. So you play a flute, you play a lute, you play drums, and some other various things, all based on one of the 5 gods. Balthazar, Dwayna, Melandru, Grenth, and Lissa. I didn't even know how to activate it. I happened to be running around doing the books, the stories, collecting the parables of the 5 gods, and I figured it out. So basically, once you unlock the mastery, this little ball of glowing energy comes up after you complete a mission, and it charges this thing up, and it's silly. It's silly.
Okay, so here's my thing. With the previous transportation masteries that were all the exact same thing, you just have to re-unlock it for each new map. And then with this one, I've been able to play all of Season 3 without feeling like I'm lacking anything from not having those masteries. I'm still trying to unlock Heart of Thorns stuff. Like, I don't have leyline gliding yet, and I feel the lack of leyline gliding when I'm playing certain maps. Like,
girly.
you feel it. Like, you're like, dang it, there's a ley line right there. And very clearly, this would make my whole life easier if I had that. So it drives you to want to have that next skill. I don't have some of the Nuok or whatever, like, or the oh god, what are the yeah, thank you. I don't,
and the Forgotten.
Yeah, I don't have some of those masteries either, because I'm still I'm me.
You're severely behind, yeah.
I'm severely behind. And I feel the lack of them when I go to do stuff, or when I want to go do stuff and I can't because I haven't unlocked that mastery. I'm sorry to say, because I love this game, but like, you don't need any of the masteries from season 3.
The last mastery is very helpful in the Balthazar area. That's really where you can use it, and there is some benefit to having it, because the enemies in Balthazar's area are so freaking overpowered. It's annoying. You definitely need to go through with people. It's almost as bad as the leather farm in Lake Doric. Did either of you guys do the jumping puzzle?
No.
I did it on my Norn on my first try with no portals. It was fun.
No. What jumping puzzle was I working on before? The gold badges in Silver Waste, which I finished.
Good job.
I found all of the missing ones with a lot of help. Thank you, everybody who sent me the Dolphy guides and the translation for the Dolphy guide, because none of the numbers were matching up. And I was having like a brain fart, like, which number am I supposed to look at?
Oh, that one is tough. That one is tough.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the jumping puzzles.
You should be proud, because that one's hard.
I need my recovery time from that one.
The one, it's Abaddon's arm. There's some heart-stopping moments, but the race to the first 2 checkpoints is not too bad. But all you have to do is there's 2 blind jumps, but it's a glide and you curve to the right, so it's really not that bad. What you have to get used to is you have to jump onto broken masts of ships, so you have to kind of glide over it and then turn towards it, because if you try and land perpendicular to it, you fall off. But if you kind of just glide and turn and use it as a runway, you land right on it. So it's pretty cool. But I finished it. It took me a while. The last part is a lot of heart-stopping moments when you're a big fat Norn and you're a big fat warrior Norn that doesn't have portals or any mesmers around to portal. But I made it to the top. I was pretty proud of myself, and it was a fun puzzle. It was one of the better ones. So.
Nice. I can't do jumping puzzles. I could barely do the easy ones.
It's not
in the beginning of the maps.
It's not that hard if you just. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Me. I have 1,000 gold. It's not that hard.
You gotta hate. Don't hate. Appreciate.
As somebody who finds jumping puzzles incredibly hard.
Your jumping skills, Gord.
It's not even that. It's not that hard, is what it is. You should be in awe of my willingness to try.
I am in awe. I congratulate you that I am not mentally prepared for that.
I can tell you, I'm still amazed at how much you actually get done in game.
Right?
It still blows my mind how you get it done.
Sleep is for the weak.
Well, call me wimpy.
I play for the lore,
yeah.
Which is why I don't even have all of my Heart of Thorns masteries finished all these years later.
Well, I did max out my Heart of Thorns mastery, so I'm at 193 for that. So it's completely max. I finished my last raid mastery and the last mastery in One Path End. So, like,
part of me wants to make the joke, like, hey, how about you just log in and finish my stuff for me?
That
but the
would
other
be
thing is, like,
TOS.
no, because it is fun for me to go through and, like, as much as I struggled, like, clearly, because I still haven't finished them all, to, like, when I finally get that next thing, to be like, yes! Like, the fact that it's taken how many years for me to finish the Silver Waste thing to get that one mastery. I need what? 3 more mastery points? 3 more. And then I'm finished with Corteria masteries until they drop new ones in.
Nice. So also introduced with Siren's Landing. Is it Siren's Landing? Yeah. also introduced with it was a legendary trinket. Anybody start that?
Yeah.
Not yet,
I
no.
haven't gotten one legendary. So
It's a lot of map currencies. That shaman had posted a picture of 500 of every map currency for all 6 of the Living Story Season 6 maps. So I have a feeling that it's going to take that from what I heard it did. It's a legendary journey. You end up with a legendary amulet that you can
it's not
stat swap.
crafting, it's all the currency.
I think there is some crafting. I don't know. I have not started it. I'm a one legendary at a time guy. I'm very monogamous with my legendaries until they're completed. Then I move on.
Well, I've had a weird last couple of months with as far as legendaries go. So everybody knows my never-ending quest for Nevermore. I was so excited because I was like, "Oh my God, I just need these 3 gifts and I'm done."
Nope.
And then I realized, son of a bitch, I didn't do the masteries to buy the gifts.
That's okay.
So
That's okay.
now I have to go get all the mastery points. I picked up a bunch of them. Winners and I went and did some, and then the other day, of course, when the Living Story released, I got a bunch of them on the Living Story thing. So I'm like, I'm actually trying to get some of the achievements done so I can finish Nevermore, because for 5 years I have been playing and I have thrown crap piece after crap piece after crap piece of exotic gear into the Mistforge, thinking today's the day.
I just
Today
have to say,
is the day, and
Today is not the day.
I have to say, I am working on and near completion of my 5th legendary since you started
of
Nevermore.
I did find something crazy. I went and put a cheap buy price in for Frostfang Precursor, and I got it.
Oh, good man.
For like 320 gold.
Oh, nice.
So I got the Precursor. I was like, you know what? I'm going for a Precursor. I'm going to buy a freaking Precursor. And so I spent 300 and something gold. And the price, of course, since then has gone up a little bit. But, and then like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks later, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I just decided I was there. I was like, you know what? I need to clean out my bags. Look, you know what? Here's 3 shitty exotics that I'm not going to make 50 silver on. I threw all 4 of them in there. Boom, the Chosen.
Nice.
Oh, good man. That's what I'm building right now.
So now I got that, and I'm really, really thinking I might need to put my heart out to the Shining Blade, because that thing looks pretty freaking cool.
I won't touch it. I will not
I think
touch it.
I think it looks really cool,
like it.
and I have so much mithril and so much elder wood.
That
already.
blade is within, I think it's within 300 to 500 gold of what a buy order for Eternity is. That's what it costs to make. I'm not touching it. I have Zap. Thank you.
Well, we have 2. We have 2 people who have done it.
Yeah.
Cypher and Romo both did it.
Yeah. Well, if I do get another advanced leather thingy, then I'll do it. But all right, so let's get back to the story.
Yeah, that's craziness.
Let's get back to the map. So, lore-wise, what did you think, Cora? I love the parables of the gods.
I love the parables. I am going to spend some time looking at them more in depth and analyzing them. But I liked them. I thought those were really cool. I think they made some interesting choices. And I can see, looking at the whole season, why, in my mind, why. And it was clearly like, look, people have been asking about these certain story lines, certain lore aspects since the game launched. We need you to stop asking about them because we need you to focus over here. So we're going to pop them in this story, in this Living Story season, and we're just going to tie up all those loose ends. So.
Which ones?
Cauticus going back. I mean, Cauticus was wrapped up. Yeah. The White Mantle, the bandits thing was wrapped up. Pulling Lazarus in, like his whole, like, I will come back to, and no, okay, so now we officially saw the real Lazarus. And this is spoilers, right? We're talking spoilers?
Yeah, we're the last show to do our review on it.
So we saw who we thought was Lazarus, turned out to be a fake Lazarus. Now we saw the real Lazarus. We raised him back ourselves and killed him. So Lazarus is gone. The last of the Mersat is dead. Mersat are no more. So that storyline is wrapped up. And I would just like to say, I freaking knew that Anise was not Livia. I called it. Did I not call that back way long ago?
You did. I'm going to touch on that in the story, though.
And we will touch on that later. Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
the fact
that for all these years, people are like, oh my God, Anise is Livia. And I'm like, no. And, like, throwing my tantrum going, no.
Well, you're not going to like the alternative. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, so...
So, Lauren, the map, what was it like running around? I got to say...
I liked this map better than some of the other ones.
I liked the map, but it was very hard for me to accept the fact that Abaddon had a reliquary on the map after the 5 other gods erased him from Ur and cast his temple into the sea. Yeah, he had a reliquary. And I saw it on Reddit that, I hate to say it, but one of the Care Bears were like, no, they explained it because they couldn't throw out Abaddon's reliquary because then all their stuff wouldn't be able to go anywhere. They have to save their stuff. No, they didn't. That's dumb.
No, I think that makes sense because it's like having an electrical system with the circuits. Like you have to have that circuit there. No, so it wasn't the idea of it being Abaddon. It was just, hey, we just need this circuit to make it run.
Abaddon was the god of secrets. The other 5 gods gave Abaddon their most prized possessions for Abaddon to keep secret. They beat the snot out of Abaddon, throw him into the realm of torment, and lock him up. But they're still going to trust him to keep their stuff secret. So basically, when they threw him, when they banished him from Ur and put him into the realm of torment, whatever keeping or whatever magic that he had was sealed into the realm of torment. Therefore, his magic could not protect their stuff. So they just left their stuff sitting there.
No, it's like him saying, like, here's my laptop. We've all put all of our stuff on the laptop and I've password protected it, and then you guys booted me out of the club.
Well, here's the other thing.
Kept the laptop.
Nope, that's fine. Here's the other thing. I'm not going to give my most prized possession to the butthead that's giving me noogies and pushing me in the mud.
It was post-noogie or pre-noogie. It was pre-noogie.
The stuff was sitting there. It didn't make sense to me that out of everything else on Ur, Abaddon is erased, gone from history, yet his reliquary is still sitting there. That didn't make sense to me personally. If it makes sense to everybody else, hey, that's great. I didn't buy that. And it was a really big disappointment for me.
No, I completely bought it, but part of it is I do play the game coming at it with the idea of it being like the concept of like sacred text, like everything that you've done, that you've put in game, that you're calling canon, I look at it as true and accept it as what it is. Okay. And so if I have to, looking at, like, you're like, hey, that doesn't make sense, it's totally canon break, whatever, and you pick it apart, I look at it as, okay, yes, you're right. If I look at it just black and white, yeah, there are some issues, but I'm looking at it like, okay, since you're saying this is canon, this is fact, then I look for those I look to make those connections, those circuits for like, okay, well, how does it make sense? And for me, it is, okay, so it was pre him turning into a jerk when it was like, okay, we're all a team, we're all trying to work together, and so he's like, well, I'm, okay, well, his domain is the secret, so let's give him all the stuff,
and that
he's
going
to keep it all safe. And that was pre him turning into a jerk butt.
His magic would keep it safe, but when he was banished from Tyria, his magic disappeared, was no longer in the realm of Tyria, or else Nightfall would have already happened. So it's canon that he is sealed.
Right, and so reliquaries were powered
all their
down.
Prized possessions are sitting there for anyone to take. And
no, they were sealed. It's like
they weren't sealed. How could it be sealed? It's his reliquary. His magic's gone. How did they seal it?
Because you need to have the magic flowing through it to power it up. So it's like him. It's like everybody put your secrets on this laptop, and then we kicked him out, and he took the password and the power cord. Well, the secrets are still on the laptop. They're still in there, but we can't access them.
And
yet.
I can go to Radio Shack and get a new cord.
Okay,
and I got
we're
it,
dealing
buddy.
with the gods. They couldn't go to Radio Shack yet, okay?
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna prove my point later. Just for me, it broke it. It just broke it for me.
I
So-
looked at it as it was they're there, they're locked. The gods maybe aren't particularly concerned at the moment because they whether or not they knew the Flameseeker prophecies were going to happen, that a new god was going to arise.
They were
I
out
figured they
before
knew
then,
that they understood, like, eventually we're going to get another god to plug into that slot and power things back up.
That could be
they've had gods that were replaced before, so this was not the first time.
Just for
Abaddon,
me, that broke it. That broke it for me. It didn't make sense, and I felt like it was a cheap heartstring pull. Like, oh, here's Abaddon. And the other thing that didn't make sense to me is the statue of Abaddon that was there was intact, but at its foot was the head of Abaddon. Like the statue broke, and the head was down on the ground, but the statue standing there, the only statue in the room of Abaddon, was intact.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's silly. It's silly, and I know it's nitpicky. I know that's nitpicky. It is nitpicky, but it's silly.
That one I will allow.
Okay.
That feels like I didn't notice it. That feels like they were working on the map and thought, and like that's where you like had two ideas. Like, okay, do we want the complete statue or do we want the head here?
It would have made sense if it was broken.
And pick one.
Yeah, it would have made sense if it was broken. Like the gods went in there and like, screw you, man, and broke his statue. That would have made sense. It was
I'm taking my ball and getting a hand.
That's right. It's just that was the only nitpicky things I have about the map.
File a bug. Maybe they'll fix it.
No, well, I understand too. That's really nitpicky, but I mean, this is the ultimate episode, so I expect ultimateness.
Yeah.
With it.
No. That's that one I'll accept. That one I'll accept.
The map I liked, except for Duena's Reliquary. It didn't make sense to me with all the wind. And I'm just gonna say now, everybody, when I went to watch Kit and the Travelers 2 weeks ago, everybody made fun of me because I said the Wyvern was the dragon that was being shown in the teaser trailer before One Path Ends, and now I'm just gonna say, I told you so. Ha ha ha.
I liked this
wind...
map actually. I can see myself going back and replaying it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Whereas Bitterfrost, if I want to get that Ascended Trinket, I have to go play Bitterfrost.
Yeah, but the winter berries are easy to get.
Winter berries are pretty easy. I will
say that the flying part was kind of fun, but it was completely annoying trying to gauge the puzzle of the winds, like to get higher and higher and higher up, especially to get to like the mastery point and stuff like that. Yeah. Boy, it was hard trying to stay afloat long enough so you could be close enough to see the whirls that took you up one level higher, because they'd disappear and then they'd reappear, and it was like right when I'd see it, I'd be like flying to it and it would disappear, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I just liked flying around there because it was cool that your glider stays full. You don't run out of energy if you are like me.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, the map overall was fun. I just didn't like Abaddon being there. Abaddon had so much presence there, and I'm like, wait a minute, they wiped him from history, yet here's all his tablets scattered around, and here's his reliquary.
But here's the thing.
That's the only. That's just what I'm saying. That's the only thing that broke it.
No, that's fine. I was just gonna say that has presence within history, like within our history. That happens. Like if you look at ancient Egypt, pharaohs rule, and then the next pharaoh comes along and goes, yeah, we didn't like that pharaoh, and so they strike him from history. They chisel him out of all the walls, and they break all the statues and temples. But every now and then, like all these thousands of years later, we're like, oh, hey, we just uncovered this completed statue that was buried in the sand, or a temple that was lost, I guess, or something. Yeah. So this is one of those things where it was like it escaped somehow. It happens.
I guess it could. All right, so anything else for the map?
No, I liked this one. I thought this one was it had better flow for me. It was fun. I had more fun with this one, whereas like Bitterfrost was grind and not fun. I'm sorry to whoever worked on it. I know like you put your heart and soul into doing the work. Nobody wants to make a bad map.
Bitter Frost
and
wasn't
it wasn't
map.
bad.
It had bad elements.
It had some bad elements.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, like I said, I can see myself going back and replaying this one.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I liked that it was a new part of ore. I liked that it was a new part of ore. You don't have to. So for me, I liked it that here's another side of the island. So
no, the only reason why I give it is because when it comes to any part of the maps, in my headcanon, just for me, there's nothing that would stop my character from exploring all of ore and going through all the maps of ore. You know, obviously not maps, but my character would have already been around that island 20 times, and there's still parts of the island that are covered that we haven't been to yet, and that just bothers me. But that's all nitpicky stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed the map. It's nice getting that dose of the gods and that kind of stuff. And
that was prep work, getting us ready for the expansion. I see it as like, and I kind of see a little bit of that as like, yeah, the Abaddon was calling back to Nightfall and getting us ready to go into Alona, which was where Nightfall took place. So.
All right, so let's jump into the story.
Okay.
So the first part of the story was where's Balthazar. So we're just chilling, and we get our call from Timey, like every other episode, and we share with her that we're looking for Balthazar. We don't know where to look, so we're going to start with the priest of Balthazar in Divinity's Reach. So that's where we go, and the guy was so ridiculous. Like, I don't know what they're trying to pull off in the story, and this is going to be a theme for this for the story in this chapter, but it was
shockingly, I'm going to agree with you. This was not the best writing.
It was kind of funny, but it was way over the top.
The whole, not the whole, a lot of what they did was so over the top. Not just with this priest, but like the scene where we get initiated into the Shining Braid.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. But so you go to talk to the priest of Balthazar. You find Anise yelling at the priest of Balthazar, saying that Balthazar's followers are pretty much in the streets of Divinity's Reach, causing ruckus and everything else, and blase. And he's like, so what? And he keeps trying to spar the commander, and he keeps trying to spar Anise, and he's doing little silly chicken noises and everything else. And it was just over the top. So we get pulled aside by Anise to talk in private, and Anise shares with us that Kaz went back into hiding. She just came out of hiding to go back into hiding, which was silly, and I'll get to that at the end of this. But anyway, she shares with us that she has a Shining Blade Exemplar who has been working on her own and was last known to be in Brisbane Wildlands, and she lost contact. So, Gallios, you want to add anything to that? I mean, that's kind of the synopsis on that part of the story.
No, I did. I'm like you. I thought it was kind of funny watching the priest of Balthazar. I laughed really, really hard when I saw it, to be honest with you. But I'm more interested in what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Because I only have one interjection on the next one. You guys do such a wonderful job with the story part of everything that I'm not going to screw it up by opening my mouth, but I will interject some of the things that I thought were really cool that I enjoyed. So
that's why we're here.
Move on.
Interject. Yeah. All right. So we're done in Divinity's Reach. I thought it was really silly that Casimir showed up to identify Balthazar and then went back into hiding to collect herself and
to give us her new outfits.
Yeah. Well,
the new skin
there's
for her
all
outfit.
that. And that I'll get to. I'm going to leave a lot hanging out there until we're done going through the whole story, because I have a whole theory on this. But anyway, we depart from Divinity's Reach and we go and find a cave that is an old White Mantle hangout or hideout.
White Mantle or Shining Blade?
White Mantle.
Oh, okay.
We had to go because we had to go rescue her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Exemplar.
I'm sorry. That's right.
So we go through and there's a little bit of a jumping puzzle to get up to the top. It wasn't too hard to figure out. There was a couple achievements there that I didn't get on the first time through, but they were pretty easy to get the second time through. When you had to find and kill the King Frog and the other one. I forgot what the other one was. Oh, the other one was the Bloodstone puzzle. So to let Anise out, you had to basically light the Bloodstone shards on one side, so that way you could just hit the middle one and we'll put everything out. And you had to turn all the Bloodstone beams off.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a requirement you had to do.
Yeah, I think I figured it out by accident.
If you did it the other way around, where you lit all of the traps, it's a hidden achievement, and you give the exemplar a little bit of a shocky, which was kind of funny. So that was a hidden achievement. I did that on the second time through. So I thought that was cool. And you start getting attacked by Shining Blades, or not Shining Blades, White Mantle. You kind of fight your way through. You find out that this exemplar is there in order to find all of the aspects of Lazarus, because this exemplar wants to resurrect Lazarus so she can kill him. I gotta say, as soon as she spoke, the way she spoke, I knew it was Livia.
You mean in this husky sort of tone of, I'm so annoyed with the world and I just want everyone to die. Yeah.
And, it was also kind of, she had that swagger, she had that little sassy attitude, and there was a little bit of influence from Gad the Asura she was working with.
Yeah, she's a little bit not sarcastic. I'm trying to think of the word. It starts with an A, and I cannot think of it. It's the type of linguistic speech she uses where it's, like I said, it's not sarcasm. It is that sort of, well, duh, kind of like you say something and she's like her responses. Yeah, like she really doesn't have any time for you. She doesn't want to be there with you. She just wants to kind of do her own thing alone, and so on and so forth. So you go through and you end up find the aspect of Lazarus and the Eye of Janthier. So what you're trying to do is track down the Eye of Janthier. So the commander gets hold of the Lazarus's aspect, and he won't give it to the exemplar. And I forgot her name because I knew, like I said, it was like something with a K, Kaid, or it was some weird
Kieran.
No, it wasn't Kieran.
It wasn't Kieran.
You're thinking of Kieran Thackeray.
Oh, maybe I am.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter because, like I said, I knew it was Livia right off the start. So you get the aspect, and once you get the aspect, you have to, in order to get the aspect, you have to kill Jessica Araya in order to retrieve the aspect. And once you get it, like I said, the commander has it. He won't hand it over until he gets some answers on how to track down Balthazar. So at this point, the exemplar tells you to meet her back in Divinity's Reach. And this is what starts, in my opinion, one of the most ludicrous chain of events I've ever seen in Guild Wars 2. Are we talking the initiation now? This is the initiation. So you go back to Divinity's Reach. You go to the mausoleum in Divinity's Reach, which ends up being a secret entrance to the secret lair of the Shining Blade. Now the tone is very somber. It's very old place. You can tell, and you Revenants. You go into this dialogue with Anise, and she tells you that they can't share their secrets, so they can't tell you why she wants Lazarus's aspect unless you become a Shining Blade. And I was fine with that. I will say I was kind of fine with that, I will say. For my Norn had no care to be initiated into the Shining Blade, but understood enough that in order to get the information that he wanted, he would have to do this, and it makes the whole rest of it make sense. But you talk to Anise and you say that you're going to take on the oath so that way they can tell you why they want Lazarus's stuff. Livia protests, but Anise says, no, I can't think of anybody more trustworthy. Now, being the commander of the Pact, being present at the slaying of 2 elder dragons, that reasoning does work. But I can't imagine a Savari and a Asura, and especially a Char character, saying, okay, I'm just going to be part of the Shining Blade. I can buy a Savari.
I can sort of buy an Asura because they want knowledge, so whatever. I'll do whatever weird human thing you want me to do. Just give me the knowledge. I have trouble with seeing a Char. I do have a lot of trouble seeing a Char be like, okay, yeah, initiate me into your human faction.
Yeah.
Where I am...
Under penalty of death.
Yeah.
Under penalty of death.
Oh, yeah, I have a big trouble with that. I see the Char being like, yeah, I mean, I'll keep the secrets because Char honor, but like, really, you're going to try to kill me and I'm going to swipe you with my paw. It's not happening. So I had some trouble with that. And that's where, with this single storyline, very linear, like, and you've got the different races, and everybody's got to follow that same path regardless of what race you're playing as. My thing was, sort of calling back to what we were talking about with the Priest of Balthazar, if the Priest of Balthazar was the one over the top thing, okay, I'd be fine with that. It's the one over the top thing. The priest is really gung-ho. He's the priest of the god of war. So yeah, everybody's rearing to go and rearing to fight. Okay, I can buy it. But then we got the initiation scene. And it's a cutscene, which, okay, you wanted to do a cutscene instead of like a fight that like we have player control over of being initiated. Was that because it was easier and quicker, or like didn't?
You're taking an oath under penalty of death to keep ancient secrets that could jeopardize the throne of Kryta, and yet everybody turns into like Calculon from Futurama.
Yeah,
it's like, what the hell is going on here?
It was not my favorite piece of writing they've done.
It was like they felt that they had to make everything comedic relief. And it's like, okay, I have to swallow that my Norn is joining a human faction. But on top of that, it's like, you go through the one part, I don't remember what it was, but the one that stuck out to me was like, it's like they're throwing rocks at you.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's
and
whatever he's made by his resolve, and then they drop a ton of freaking rocks. Like they should have put the Acme stamp on it and had Wile E. Coyote snickering in the freaking corner with that part.
Oh my god, you totally read my mind, because it's exactly the exact same thing I thought. It was like, okay, so where's the Acme sticker on this freaking load of rocks that just got dropped?
I mean, I could buy standing in the big barrel and like water dumping over you, because like, okay, that's, they're getting waterboarded. All right. Or like,
or it's all
calling back to like where it's like the meditation of like sitting under a waterfall and like, this is your trial.
I mean,
right. Or it's like symbolism, not necessary. This is supposed
to be a serious tone. This is supposed to be
not stoning my character to death.
Well, even the stoning part, I like parts of it made sense. Okay, that makes sense. But it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. The Shining Blade's made by resolve. And okay, I can take that. But then the character, I don't remember the line that the player character says, but it's such an overly dramatic Calculon from Futurama. If you've never watched Futurama, Google Calculon from Futurama, and it's just this ridiculous William Shatner type acting that's just so over the top, dramatic, and bad.
And here's where my curiosity was. They wrote it, and it's supposed to be this very solemn, filled with like I said, reverence for the symbolism and what the significance of what we're taking on. And I'm assuming that's what they were writing it with the intent of like having the player see that like, oh, the weight of what we're taking on our shoulders. However, they took it too far in the writing, and then they took it too far in the scripting.
It wasn't just that though. The part where you're fighting the White Mantle to ensure the Shadow escapes is a recreation of one of the missions from Guild Wars 1. It is a direct recreation. And the leader of the Shiny Blade, Anise, is making fun of it.
I know. Like the way they're talking where it's like, oh no, they're coming. Whatever shall we do?
Exactly. And it's like, this is something that happened in the past that I experienced as a Guild Wars 1 player. I played that mission.
Yeah.
And, and the bonus mission was to make
event
sure
in their own history. It's got weight.
Yeah. So the whole thing, and then the whole self-doubt thing was centered around Destiny's Edge. Kaith made sense to me. Air made no sense to me because
Air
my
made
character,
sense.
my character was running towards Air, and Air decided, F it, I'm done. Turned around and took the vine tooth's tail.
She knew we weren't going to get to her in time.
So then why is she blaming in the character's mind?
Okay, no,
why is he being blamed for her death?
Because that's survivor's guilt.
Okay,
it's not,
all right, I'll give you that.
It's not literally Air blaming us. It is our guilt
so
of not
Ritlock.
being able to save our friend.
You're
that
right.
is weighing on us.
I didn't consider that, but explain Ritlock.
What was Ritlock's thing again?
I went into the mist, and you couldn't bother to find me. You couldn't care less about your old pal, Ritlock.
And I'm like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah, that one's a little awkward.
Kaith made sense to me too. After all we've been through, you couldn't trust me. Okay, that's fine. But why would that be self-doubt in the commander who's still keeping her on a leash, stuck in a cave outside of Oreen's chamber because he doesn't trust her?
That's not us keeping her on a leash. That's like us being like, okay, like we're giving, like, here's your new shot. But like,
Kaith is
okay. Here's the thing. Even because as a female, and maybe you guys have the thing as well, but I don't know. I can only speak from my experience. I've had those friends where you've been really close friends, and then you guys have a falling out, and like it can be from a misunderstanding, like Kaith thinking she's taking the egg for safety, and us being like, what the f? And like it turned out to be like, okay, you were doing a good thing, like you were trying to help, and I went off on you with justifiable reasons, but like I'm still angry about the situation, but I'm also hurt that I hurt your feelings, and so now like I've got all these conflicting emotions inside of me that I've got to deal with. I feel justified in my anger, but I also am upset that I hurt you, and how do I reconcile those two conflicting emotions about this solitary event? Like neither one is wrong and neither one is right. So what do I do with these emotions that I have?
But then if you feel that way, Kaith is one of the only characters who wants to join Dragon's Watch, yet you leave her in the cave in Tarir and tell her to piss off.
Well, no, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as like, okay, so the baby Oreen is still vulnerable, so I need somebody to watch her.
So
and
then why
I
are you
messed up with you before, and didn't trust you with the egg, so now I'm trusting you with Oreen.
All right, I'm moving on with that because
okay, but going back to the scene,
the scene in general,
over the top.
It was like, why even bother saying that you're taking this oath under penalty of death to make fun of the entire initiation process to become a Shining Blade?
Yeah.
Make fun of your own history. Make fun of a previous mission in Guild Wars 1, and that's how it came across to me. And it's another situation where I had no buy-in with my character because I had no choice in what was happening. I was being dragged through the story like this is not what my character would do. My character's a Norn. My character is big on respect, respecting tradition, honoring those that fell in war with valor. And you know, you're sitting there while Anise is like, oh, so many deaths. Ha ha ha. And like swooning around like a moron.
Yeah. So here's something that I have to wonder. Well, a few things I'm wondering about. One, when they're writing this new single storyline, since following, the Corteria, they stopped doing the branching narrative for each race. Are they thinking about it in terms of would a Char act this way, or are they just focused on humans? And it feels like at times, and this was one of them, that they're only thinking in terms of, well, this is what a human commander would do, and they've forgotten that they made Asura and Char and Norn, and those characters would react differently and have different lines.
To me, it's them trying to deliver the story the way that they want to deliver the story. And it's too hard to break it down between the 5 factions that they created, the 5 races that they created to make a different thing. So I don't think that they're just focusing on human-centric. I don't think that's what it is, and forgetting that the other races. I think that they feel that this is the easiest way to deliver the story, and this is how we're doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so then here's my next thing. I'm thinking about just the words that were said, not how they were said, which we agree was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if the writers wrote the lines with the intent of this is a serious scene. It deserves its significance. It deserves its weight for when it goes into voice acting. And then it got into the booth, and those writers weren't there and didn't convey it within script notes of this is how it should be said. And and whoever the voice actors were read it with, oh, these sound so over the top. Clearly, they must be read like this. Oh no. And then whoever was in the booth didn't go, oh yeah, that sounds a little not how we want it. Can you make it serious? Like this is a serious, somber scene. And so it accidentally became this comedic like thing.
I think there was some direction from somebody outside of the narrative team. I think you're right. The narrative team wrote that to be a somber and heavy, respectful scene, but there was direction from somebody else that it was coming across too dark and they wanted to lighten the scene up a bit. I think that's what it came down to.
Yeah.
I read that on Reddit. Somebody put that out on Reddit that, Annette's trying to not be so dark and gloomy, but it was not appropriate there. It killed. It
wasn't.
It killed the whole thing for me.
And the thing was, like, it didn't have to be when we're taking the oath and getting forged and whatever. Like, okay, fine, you're throwing stones at us. Like, we have to endure the pain of getting stones thrown at us. Okay, fine. We fought dragons. We can deal with that. Having the stones, not even stones, boulders falling from the sky on top of us.
That's what killed it.
Over the top.
That's what killed it. That was,
and I wonder if that was written by the narrative writers, or if that was whoever was doing the animation for the scene went like, oh, hey, this would be kind of cool, funny, and like something happened there. And then you go into the scene where it is replaying the Guild Wars 1 mission, which was fine. Like the language was fine if the voice actors hadn't hammed it up.
I think that the animators and the voice actors were instructed to deliver that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, no voice actor is going to go in and do and read the lines and go, I'm choosing to do this hammy. Like, yeah, they clearly got direction from somebody.
I'm just, and that's just where I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to move on because that killed it. It was ridiculous. It was over the top, and it killed the entire mood of that scene. And I think it's a travesty, and I think it was disrespectful to the narrative team because I don't think that's the way they wrote that scene. So that's just my opinion. No, that's just my opinion. I really don't think that they would have written it like that. So
yeah.
Oh, I think so that's what it was. It was Karita.
They were taking the story in interesting ways, but then some choices were made that we feel weren't the right choices.
It was way too much comedic relief injected into this episode. The next scene on Orient Shores, we go to Lion's Arch, we go to the boat. The Shining Blade agent there says, well, I'm not going to let you on the boat, which, by the way, as soon as we're done swearing under penalty of death that we would keep the Shining Blade secrets, we tell Exemplar Karita to go buy Radisum and get one of the communication devices that just happens to be planted on me. And my associate could have just listened in on the entire conversation that we had, thereby breaking all your secrets and breaking the oath that I took.
It's like turning your phone off. We turned our phones off.
No way.
We went in and we left them at the door like you have to do when you go to like prisons and government buildings. It was left at the door.
Why is that? Why is that not put into the story? Why? There's too much insinuation in the story, too.
You can't put every tiny little things like that.
Yes, you can. When you're facing penalty of death and you tell, oh, by the way, I have this communicator that somebody in Radisum is listening in on.
Now you're getting a little nitpicky. I'm willing to say like we turned it off.
Okay, I'm willing to assume that we turned it off and checked it at the door. But it should have been put into the story. Anyway.
I mean, if it was put in the story, yes, it would have been an extra little minute detail that would have just sold it a little bit better. However, as a writer, I have learned that sometimes when you're writing a scene, like when you're writing a book, when you're writing a story, You don't need to describe the oatmeal the character ate for breakfast. We just, like, it's not important. And that little detail to me is sort of like describing the oatmeal. We know they ate breakfast. We don't need to know how they ate it and what it tasted like.
They made a complete mockery of the entire thing, so it really doesn't matter. But anyway, the next bit of comedic relief that has to be injected into the story is Exemplar Kurita has to yell at the freaking Shining Blade person to let you on the boat, and it just came across to me, Mommy, they won't let me play in the game. You know, it was just, by this point, with all the quips and all the jokes and all the silly freaking things that were going on in the story, it was just grating my nerves at this point. Like, can I just go to Ore and do my freaking thing without all this extra forced freaking dialogue?
Well, and I will agree to a degree. Guild Wars as a franchise has never been about the comedy. It's always been serious and somber. I mean, we played through Prophecies, and Ascalon very quickly gets the Searing, and then okay, we're taking the prince and we're heading through the mountains, and oh nope, the prince died in an avalanche, and and then at the end of Prophecies, there's his dead body and we're fighting zombie prince, and then you go into Factions, which is a plague-ridden slum city, like. Mm-hmm.
And you learn how the Tengu hate humans because humans went and slaughtered their babies.
Right, and then you go into Nightfall, and again, Palo Joko, it's not a comedic game. It's not WildStar. The humor and whatnot would fit in WildStar, where it's cartoonish and it is over the top, and it's WildStar is written and designed to be that way. It's to be more jovial, and Guild Wars has always been more somber, more realistic. We're not straight up Game of Thrones, but we lean that way a little bit more in terms of people die. It's a thing. This is not a game for 8-year-olds to play.
It's rated teen.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is one of the new writers or if this is them trying something new, or if there was just miscommunication between what the narrative team wrote and then what whoever directed the animation and the voice actors, if there was a miscommunication there. But yeah, I'm not playing the game for the chuckles.
it made it very unlikable for me. It was too much.
It was a little too much, and that's where here or there, a little bit is fine. Mm-hmm. Nobody's saying it has to be. Like I said, I don't want to play the MMO Game of Thrones version of, that's not what I want. Sprinkling of humor is fine. If it was, okay, here's the over-the-top Balthazar priest, and then we have the somber mission, and now, here's miscommunication at the boat, and we're just like, really? And call up Anise, and okay, here's the thing. But it didn't need it that second instance, but if it was just those two, it would have been, okay, fine, this is a little annoying, but I can deal with it. But added in coming right off of how irreverent they were towards their own sacred, somber history.
Yeah.
That's like us saying, having a reenactment of the Battle of Pearl Harbor, and, the actors are going at it with that. I can't believe I have to do this. People would be upset. Excuse you, this is a significant battle in our history. Mm-hmm. People died fighting to defend this thing. How dare you act that way? And they're coming at, and it felt like this is just a video game. We don't need to take it seriously. No.
that was kind of said by Mo. He said, after all, this is a video game. In his production, his whatever.
It is a video game and it should be fun, yes. However, having fun and it being a video game is not incompatible with, here is a serious moment within the history of, this is a real world that we are building. We want it to be viewed and you to immerse yourself in this world. So you have to take that seriously. You have to respect the weight of that thing. Otherwise, don't touch it.
Yeah, there's one more thing I'm looking for. So I didn't have time to go back and look, but there was a post on Reddit. Somebody had brought up that in Bog Otter, Richie Procopio's playthrough of The Living Story, he had gone through some papers on Anis's desk, and it possibly exposed E. Anis was the new head exemplar, the leader of the Shining Blade, and that was passed to her by somebody else. And I want to say that the name was Eliza or something like that. It was signed over, and it said something to the effect of, I can no longer focus on the Shining Blade as I'm pursuing other events. The order's in good hands with you, Anis, blase, blase, signed something. But it wasn't Avenia. And this person had said that it is a good clue that that could possibly be E. If it's true, it could have closed out that little thing with E not being Avenia, which would make sense now, I guess. But I just wanted to touch on that real quick before we moved on to...
I mean, for a long time, I thought it might be Avenia because she disappeared. Again, it's one of those storylines that we always wondered what happened to it in the first game. There was Avenia, and then she disappeared. And then we have this mysterious E, so why not be Avenia? But
it's probably not going to be, and I am going to do the playthrough again, but when you get to that section of when you finish the initiation, you can kind of explore around before you leave. If you read the papers on Anis's desk, you'll find the letter signed over and basically signing over the leadership of the Shining Blade to her. So getting back to the story now, we're in Or. We're back at Or, and we find out the cool thing that I saw was the Unchained Undead. That was pretty cool because they're there, and there's plenty of Savari there. There's plenty of people there who are trying to reclaim Or. So at least is saying that ArenaNet is planning, or possibly in the future, or maybe the next iteration of the game in Guild Wars 3, or will be refreshed, or whatever you want to call it, reclaimed. But it was nice seeing that. And the undead are kind of still wandering around under the influence of Zaitan's magic, even though Zaitan is dead. So they're the Unchained Undead now. The first thing that you have to do is power up all the reliquaries so you can get into the middle reliquary, which is Abaddon's, and it's basically forcing you to do all the hearts. There were 5 hearts? Yeah, there were 5 hearts in that part of the story. So, I mean, this is where it kind of just filler. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Sorry, I'm kind of out of it on that section. I don't even remember it.
So,
what were we talking about again?
Arriving at Or. And that was on Orient Shores and the flow of magic. So we have to go through and restore all the reliquaries in order to power up Abaddon's reliquaries so we can get in to the final area. So anything to add on that? I mean, I enjoyed it. I actually decided to do map completion because it was getting close to reset. I think I had 3 hours before reset, and I said, you know what? If I have to do the hearts, I'm going to do the entire map completion. And that's where I kind of dropped the story, but I got my map completion done so I wouldn't have to worry about it the next night.
I think I'm pretty close to the map completion because I had the same thoughts. And the crazy thing is because of the I guess the way they had you do the stuff that you had to do to get the hearts accomplished kind of made you run around in that area anyway. So like most of the map for me pretty much got done. I had the same thought though. I was going to try to finish it. I did not quite make it. I'm pretty close though.
Well, the thing that stinks is if you get everything, you have to redo the heart. So if you only get 15 out of 16 points of interest and reset hits, you have to redo the hearts in order to get the 100% map completion. So you have to have everything done, all the vistas, points of interest, all done before you can have the heart. So I just took the break at that point and decided to finish everything so that I wouldn't have to worry about it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did enjoy the mechanics of a lot of the stuff at the reliquaries. I thought that was kind of fun, actually. It was a little bit different on each one. You used a different aspect of gameplay.
But Balthazar's area was way too
That was hard.
It
Oh my
was
God,
hard,
that was hard.
especially solo. And Dwayna's area was a little bit tough as well because the wyvern is on a pretty short cycle. So you kill the wyvern and you have about 5 minutes before it pops again, before the pops again. And that was the same feeling as BFF to me. That's
But
the only
what
reason why I
was
didn't
nice
like it.
about that, what was fun, you get a couple of achievements really easy in that section.
Yeah, you can. But, you know, playing the story, I'm not worried about the achievements. I always do my story playthrough and then I'll go back.
Well, I was just excited because, you know, achievements started popping up and, you know, I started getting mastery points. So I kind of remember it.
All right. So
I was just powering through, trying my hardest to get through the story. So I saw nothing of anything beyond the minimum requirement to get to the next instance.
yeah. All right. So we get through all the reliquaries. We power everything up. And that allows us to enter Abaddon's reliquary. So this is where everything picks up again. So all the fluff and filler is done. Now we're back into story. There's a couple puzzles that were a little weird. The flame room was kind of tough to do. But I mean, relatively easy. I think I died twice trying to do it. I finally got through it, and I thought it was pretty good. Then you get to the eye room where you have to go off and fight in one area, and then go off and fight in another area, while Livia is standing in the middle of the room, trying to figure out what the orbs do. At any rate, you figure it out. The fights were not that hard. And I did it solo. And then you enter into Abaddon's reliquary, the safe place of all of the other 5 gods' most prized possessions, and nothing is there, which is important foreshadowing, except for the last aspect of Lazarus. So we take all the aspects, and Livia, Exemplar Kedra or whatever, she's still pretending to be Exemplar Kedra at that point, resurrects Lazarus and stabs him with the shining blade to weaken him. This is where we find out in the story that this is really Livia, which, another weird moment, as soon as Lazarus says, "Hey, Livia, how you doing?" Our player characters are like, "What? Livia? Well, it can't be. Well, how am I supposed to know that? My character didn't read Sea of Sorrows or play Guild Wars 1, so how does he know who the hell Livia is?"
She's an important historical figure.
To whom? To humans,
to the world,
not to
humans.
the Norn.
Oh, well, you're right. I forget you play a Norn. Yeah, that's where they should have made just a different line for each race. Like, I know it's a little bit more work, but like, you got to write one line for like and it could be the same line for literally every other race besides human. Of like, who? What? Like just some short little line, so we could be like, am I missing something? Are you important? Why are you not going by your real name?
Yeah. So Lazarus is resurrected. We find out that Livia is Livia, who's just an exemplar in the Shining Blade, not any kind of leadership. The way they handled Livia, to me, was more of a travesty than how they handled the whole Shining Blade initiation. Livia is a 300-year-old woman who turns out to be nothing really special. She's still just a necromancer.
Well, but that's her choice. Like, she didn't want to be.
But Lazarus is an elementalist necromancer. He's shooting lightning at us as well as the bullet storm necro death balls.
I feel like this is Livia's personal choice of like, yeah, she's got the Scepter of War and she's using it to extend her life, but she's also making a distinct choice that I am not using it as a power grab. I'm not.
You are taking on unnatural life so that you can fight an ancient, powerful magic user, yet you're not going to train yourself to fight said ancient magic, powerful magic user.
She did. But by and large, I think everybody agrees that the the avatar player characters in Guild Wars 2 is by far stronger than the player character in Guild Wars 1. Like, we are stronger.
Yeah, that's fine. But if
so Livia, then, to keep up with us, is also stronger than she was back then. So she was training. She was getting stronger. She is using the Scepter of Ore to extend her life. But I think for me, it was showing like she has made a conscious decision. Like, I'm not going to become like the Lich, the undead Lich, and using it to just power web, and power corrupts. Like, maybe it's like the One Ring. The more you use it, like, the more it corrupts your mind. So she is just using it the bare minimum.
She is now. Livia is again a 300-year-old woman who has gained unnatural life, who is one of the founding members of the Shining Blade, or at least involved in the Shining Blade, became the head exemplar of the Shining Blade to protect Salma during Salma's reign, but she is now just some exemplar who goes and gets caught by the White Mantle and is really nothing important with no extra power. I didn't buy it.
Well, we don't know that she doesn't have extra power. We just weren't seeing it here. And maybe when she does have the Scepter of Ore, she is special, but like, she didn't want the Scepter of Ore to fall into wrong hands, so left it somewhere special or something. I don't know. It
was weak. It was not it was just, hey, here's Livia. Be excited, here's Livia, but she's nothing special. She was more in power in Sea of Sorrows than she was protecting Adair than she was in modern times. And I don't understand how that is. I don't understand.
I will agree with that.
I think, and I've heard this is not my only my idea. I think that all along the plan was to have Anise be Livia, and they changed it at the last minute because everybody figured it out.
I mean, I can see that. I'm fine with that because I never wanted Livia to be Anise because I don't like Anise. So,
well, we're at the end of the story.
I can see that. I can see also that I'm kind of hoping they've got bigger plans for Livia.
No, she said she's
Fire.
slowing down.
She is. I know. I feel like this is them wrapping up a storyline. When Path ends, like, this is them saying, like, she's done, she's retiring, she's she's turning in her Scepter of Ore and she wants to die now. Like, she's lived a very long life.
So she gave herself unnaturally long life to kill the last of the Mersat, who are powerful magic users, but she did no extra training. She has no real influence.
You don't know that she didn't do extra training because she kept pace with us. She is stronger than she was in the first game. Just by nature of Guild Wars 2 player, it's stronger than the Guild Wars 1 player.
That's fine, but it was not Livia who gave the killing blow. It was the commander.
Well, of course, because it's a game and it can never. People get all mad when it's Traherne or when it's.
I wouldn't have. I don't think that if they were trying to close Livia's story, it was weak. It was a very weak way to end a pivotal character. They could have done a lot more with it, and they didn't. And I thought it was a shame.
I mean,
I really thought it was a shame.
Of course they could have done. Of course they could have done more. I felt that way about wrapping up the Codicus thing. Mm-hmm. I thought they wrapped up Codicus way too fast. But it comes down to this. I mean, this is what they did, and they're trying to wrap up those storylines, closing those dropped threads that people always complain about. Yes. So now we're complaining that they closed them too fast.
I'm not complaining that they closed them too fast. I'm complaining that the way they handled this character did this character no justice.
Yeah, I would hope that there is some follow-up with her, but there probably won't be. No. We'll see. Time will tell with Path of Fire.
She'll pass the Scepter of Ore onto somebody else, and that is where she's going to fade into dust. She's done as a character, and I think you're onto something. Just to finish it out, obviously we kill Lazarus, we resurrect Lazarus, and we kill Lazarus. So there's a few important things that are very apparent to me. First off, the Mersat and Lazarus are no more. Second off, I can't help but feel. And this is the conspiracy side of me. The conspiracy theorist in me is saying this, so take it with a grain of salt. I feel that episode 6 was originally episode 5, and episode 5 was originally episode 6. And the reason why they were delayed is because the game director decided to switch the order. If you play episode 4, episode 6, episode 5, the story flows better. The Balthazar's Lazarus twist works better. Even the Livia storyline fits in better. And the final fight in episode 5, where you are fighting one of the human deities with an elder dragon present in the room, feels more like a finale fight than fighting a ancient Mersat that has been in limbo forever and nobody even cares about. To me.
I agree. It felt more epic.
I think that was the delay. They switched the episodes at the last minute. Why they would do that, I have no idea. I didn't feel like this was a finale, but I felt like the story on its own was well done, aside from the comedic injections, that the overly comedic injections that we could have done without. And I really feel that they were switched. I don't see it any other way.
Yeah.
Wow, you're agreeing with me? I expected you to tell me to go away.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I do agree with you. Because the Lazarus fight did feel a little lackluster in terms of that sense of epic. That sense of, oh my God, I can't believe this thing.
What's more of a finale? And even flowing into the expansion, episode 5 is the finale, works much better going into the expansion.
I guess what they were doing was like, okay, well, we got to solve the fake Lazarus first to then go find the real Lazarus. I think it would have been just as dramatic. Just as dramatic and just as, oh my God, what's really happening here is if you actually killed Lazarus, but Lazarus was still going around. And we all knew he was fake. Casimir appearing to disappear wouldn't have happened. Casimir would have appeared and would have been gone. And I feel like going into the story of the expansion, it's going to make even more sense to think that it was switched. I agree with you. It would have worked that if they had introduced it as like, okay, hey, we need you to go fight this, or we need you to go find this missing exemplar. Exactly. And that was like another like, okay, here's the jump and we go find the exemplar. And then, oh my God,
it would have been,
I'm sorry, what? We have to go find we go find the aspects of Lazarus and then track down the aspect.
It would have been, we have to figure out if Lazarus is real or not, rather than we have to figure out where Balthazar is and never see him in that current episode.
Yeah. So then it would have been, okay, so we're gonna go find this exemplar who's got something for us to track down Lazarus who's wandering around, or no, it would have been, okay, we're gonna go find the exemplar who's gone missing. We fight. They say, oh no, I've got that Lazarus isn't the real Lazarus. I'm tracking the real one. I need your help. And then we go raise and kill the real Lazarus. So then the question and find out, oh my God, it's Livia. And then she's the one who directs us to, for sure, that other one is a fake. What's going on with him? Let's go investigate. And then we go and find out, oh, here's the fake Lazarus. And then we can appropriately call him out on being, you're not really Lazarus. I know because I just killed the real one. So who are you? And that's where he tears off the Scooby-Doo mask and, I'm actually Balthazar. And that would have been like, oh my God, what? Where's Balthazar coming from? No. To then drop into Path of Fire. No, I agree. That would have been better flow.
Here's what cements it for me, though. The sword that Balthazar had, that was his sword. And that was very prominently displayed in front of the machine. And at first I kind of was like, oh, wait a minute, that was the Shining Blade. But then I went back and looked at screenshots and it's not. That was Balthazar's sword. The other thing that Balthazar had that nobody could figure out how he got was Lys's mirror.
Yeah. Oh, came from the reliquary.
Balthazar went to the reliquary and he not only took his sword, he not only took Lys's mirror, he has all 5 gods' most prized possessions.
Dude, I didn't even think about that because the chapters are out of order. You're totally right.
That's what cemented it for me. That's how I knew they switched the episodes, and that's what caused the delay releasing episode 5. That makes perfect sense on how Balthazar had Lys's mirror. That makes perfect sense on Balthazar because he went and reclaimed his sword. He could have used Balthazar's or Lazarus's aspect with Lys's mirror to make the illusion. That's how he did it. that's how all that makes sense. So if you just switch those 2 episodes, it makes a lot of sense. And I think people should really... Gallios is throwing grenades.
I mean, it is
I
sort of
think
mind-blowing that, yeah.
People that are saying that ArenaNet has weak writers and everything else,
No, they don't.
that's what you need to consider. That's what you need to consider. And
I don't think they have weak writers.
I don't either.
I think it's very probable that, yeah, you're right. It seems like most likely that would have been the best fit. Like, that's the way it was written and supposed to be.
That's the way it was supposed to flow.
But here's the thing that people don't always remember: the writers don't have final say.
The game director does.
Yeah, I feel like they wrote the thing. This is how it's supposed to be, and at some point somebody went, "No, we need to switch them." Or very likely there was a problem that they had wanted it to be that way, and there was a game mechanics problem, or some graphics problem, some problem with what was supposed to be the original 5th scene or 5th episode, but they had the 6th one more farther along, and so they switched them because, well, we've got to get something out now, so let's rewrite it a little bit to make it work. Do some spackle, throw up some paint on the walls, and make it work this way, because we cannot wait another month or 2 months to get that chapter out, and then the next chapter, and then have the expansion pack. It's not going to work. We need something out now. Because I've done that, not on the game, but I've had situations where, okay, we've had it planned. This is written and coming out this week. This is written coming out next week, and this is written to come out next week. And like day of release, I've had them go, yeah, we can't release this thing because of this reason. What else do you have? And then that's where I have to scramble and go, well, this one is the closest that's ready. I can get it done by 4 p.m. today. Is that good? Yes. Okay, go.
And that could very well be what it was. In my opinion, it's not. In my opinion, and just my opinion, and I wasn't there, I don't know. I don't think it was a graphical issue. I don't think it was anything like that. I think that these were done. Episode 5 was done. Episode 6 may have been nearly done, but for whatever reason, it was switched. I'm not even going to speculate on what the reason was. I'm sure that it was switched. And
I mean, it feels better the way you suggested. You're right. It does.
It makes more sense. The twist, the Balthazar twist, doesn't hurt as much. It makes more sense. How he got Lys's mirror makes sense. His sword. Yeah. The whole reason why the last of Lazarus's aspects is even in the Reliquary of Abaddon makes more sense. So that was the big mind trip for me. And you touch on something too. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go into the expansion, but you touch on a very good theme, Cora.
What did I do? I said something smart. What did I say?
Rushing to close storylines. So now we're treated with our trailer that's supposed to tease the expansion, which ends up teasing the launch event. And I'm going to take Rowan Gray's description of it as a PowerPoint slide at the end. So for some reason, and I don't know why, and I don't care what certain people in the community say, I don't understand why blocky pyramids represent the Crystal Desert. I don't understand how my Norn, who can't figure out anything besides quick kill it, can figure out that we're going to the Crystal Desert from the brief thing that we saw. But anyway, I didn't feel that cutscene really was that great. It definitely wasn't as good as a setup as the Living Story Season 2 cutscene was going into the expansion, and I was a little bit turned off by the PowerPoint slide.
No, I mean, I didn't play through it, so I didn't see that. I can agree that the Living Story Season 2 cutscene into Heart of Thorns expansion was epic. Mm-hmm. That one was like, oh, snap, stuff is going down. Dang it, we got to get out there. And it was very clear, we're heading into the jungle, people are in danger, here's what's happening. And the little snippet was a little vague, and it was, I guess, the implication being like we're seeing it as like all artsy style, but like I guess our player character is seeing it like photorealistic. So it's very clear this is the desert, and we don't have pyramids over here, and we know Cantha is Asian themed, so where else could it be? Well, the only other place we don't know of is Ilona, so it's got to be out there.
Which again, how did my character know that? He's never been to Ilona.
Well, I mean, it's the inference of like, if
so
it's not
convenient.
here, it's got to be there. It was
at any rate, it was convenient. It set up the big expansion announcement party. Now, before I get into this, I want to make it clear. I've seen this a lot, and I've heard this a lot. Criticism is not always negativity. So I'm not going to apologize to criticize this. I'm just making that clear. Criticism does not mean negativity.
No, we care about something, so we're discussing what was done well, what could have been done better, and if any of them are listening, like they're hopefully going like, oh, you're right, I didn't think about it from that viewpoint. We're not saying it with the idea of like, oh, clearly the devs are terrible and why are we even playing this game? It's like nobody should spend their like, no, that is not it.
No, absolutely not. My only criticism for the launch event, in air quotes, is I thought Glitzy, I wasn't able to catch the whole thing. Glitzy did, OMG Glitzy or OM Glitzy did a 50-minute stream, and she did a great job. I caught the end of her stream. She did some giveaways. She got people hyped up. It was ready to go. So I don't understand what the purpose was of having a 10-minute countdown for somebody to press play on a pre-recorded, heavily edited and produced video. That irritated me.
I think the 10-minute countdown was like, okay, it's releasing, like we're releasing the video at this time, and people start logging on early because they don't want to miss it. So we're having a countdown.
Because you had to be on time, you had to be there, and the countdown was so that Mo could go over his freaking production letter again. So he released his production letter before the AMA, which was basically him going on and on about how great of a job they did on Living Story and blah, 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 and this and that, and how he's such a great game director is what I got out of it.
You wonder why Mo will never be interviewed by you.
Well, hey, this is criticism. This is not negativity.
I know. I'm just saying.
Mo is Mo, but nobody is tuning in to listen to him talk about the same thing that he released at the AMA, that was released on the blog, that was released in MMORPG.com.
There are some people that miss those locations, and so here it is again.
How can you? And you put it there
because if you're not looking for it, if that's not
my
what
criticism
you're doing, like before hanging out with you two nerds, I never cared about the AMAs or letters when Tuesday updates rolled around, patch stuff. I never cared about patch notes. I still never read the patch notes.
Which is the next complaint I had about this. Why are you going to do a release announcement at 9 a.m. Pacific time? It worked for people in UK, in Europe. It worked for them, for most of them, I would assume, because they're getting out of work or hopefully got home in time to watch it. I was lucky enough to be on lunch break, but people missed that. But
that's a fact. Okay.
That's not a fact of life.
Fact of life that there are different time zones around the world. And if they released it perfect West Coast time, then it wouldn't be perfect East Coast time, and it wouldn't be perfect UK time.
No, it doesn't have to be. But how many other game companies out there go and drop an expansion announcement on the same time that they drop a patch? That's what they did. They aligned it to when they dropped their patch, a Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Blizzard doesn't go and announce Legion on a Tuesday at 9 in the morning. Destiny 2 wasn't announced on a Tuesday at 9 in the morning, not even at a convention center. Those are my only two gripes about it. The video did show quite a bit. At first, I have to admit, I was a bit bummed, and it was only because I had looked at the leaks. And there was nothing.
I did not look at any of the leaks.
I saw your reaction.
I was excited beyond reasoning.
And I wish I didn't do that to myself. I wish
Yeah.
I ignored the leaks, but I honestly didn't think that they leaked everything. And those guys are pieces of crap who leaked that stuff, because they leaked everything. And it's not cool. It's better seeing it in video. The video was actually well done.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a little bit of a turnoff for me. You know, I ended up having to take an extended lunch break just to make sure that I caught it. And I think that's why Mo's little opening kind of grated on my nerves a little bit.
See, I didn't see that opening. I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Nobody
did
do that. So I started with the start of the official announcement video, and I hadn't seen any of the leaks. I'd been very good about avoiding them.
No, and
the most I knew was that we were going to Crystal Desert, and that was because there was the worm and there was some undead skin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to hear it. La 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 la.
I wish that was
I don't
me.
hear it.
Yeah.
So
I do wish that was me.
Yeah. So I knew we were going that direction, but again, I was like, until I see it in game, it's not confirmed.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're doing an expansion announcement, it's bad form to start your expansion announcement to talk about how great everything is, and when you had already released it on your webpage, you had already released it in your AMA that everybody kind of looks at anyway, and you already released it in MMORPG.
I don't, and like I said, and I didn't start with that. So if you don't want to see that, like that was the
How did I
pre-show
know
from
he
them.
was doing that? That was the first 5 minutes of the video.
Was it? Oh.
That's what he launched with. He basically
pay attention to that.
recapped the whole thing. I mean,
Well,
and
then
it just
that's fine. That's fine. That's his choice, and that's them. Like, for the people who didn't read it, I didn't read it clearly because I was like, "What are you talking about? I missed it. I didn't watch that thing." Apparently, I did. Cool.
I thought
Good
it
job,
was in
Mo.
bad form.
Thank you for including it because I hadn't read the AMA.
Oh, okay.
So
I got to
having
move on from
read it
that.
to
We're
me
gonna move on
was
from that.
great.
No,
Thank
we're gonna
you, Mo,
we're gonna
sir.
move on from that. We're gonna move on from that. That was bad form, and I can't wait for my Z to take over.
I appreciated it because I got to read it.
Well,
Well,
I'm excited for Mike Z, and I'm moving
but
on.
don't
from
do
that.
it again because
So,
it makes Gord mad.
At any rate, well, when you flip stories and you turn a somber moment into a comedic fest, and then you gloat on your video, it grates my nerves. Anyway, expansion.
It looks so good.
It looks really good. I'm
my
very excited for the
God.
expansion.
Gallios, get back here. Say some words.
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a minute.
Gallios, expansion.
No,
How does it look to
I'm,
you?
I'm extremely excited about what I saw. I do like that they're adding some mounts to get us on par with some of the other MMOs out there. Most of them have mounts. I thought that was pretty neat. I don't agree with all of the storyline up to the X pack, but I can kind of sort of understand the direction of getting back towards the elder gods and starting to pull away from the dragons. I think the dragons were a distraction, not in the sense that they were trying to distract us as players. What I mean, Gord, because I saw you shaking your head.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what I mean is, I think if the path that they're going down is that there's a rogue god that's causing problems, why wouldn't he distract you by saying that these dragons are evil? But anyway, okay. See, this is why I don't compete with you.
No, just give it to me.
Good.
Just
Keep
give it to
going.
me. I love
Keep
it.
speaking the words in that soothing voice of yours.
If we're saying that they had this all planned out, the reason that we went after the dragons is because that's what Balthazar wanted us to do. And they're getting back to the path that they had on Guild Wars 1, which was Rogue God Abaddon. I mean, we destroyed Abaddon in the first one so that Cormyr could take his place because Abaddon was a bad dude. Now we're going on to Balthazar. Maybe that was the plan the whole time, that it was always going to be us against the elder gods. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I thought that the video was exciting. I do have to agree with you on the braggadocio. I didn't quite agree with it.
Did it ruin the story for you?
No, I didn't think it did. Personally, I don't. But I'm also not as invested as you guys are. I enjoy the story. I like the story. I've always loved a great story. But as you remember, I had a little bit of a meltdown this week.
Yeah.
And I put on our Discord my thoughts about it. I just enjoy playing the game. Yeah. And the story and the actions are just a bonus. Or I shouldn't say the story and the actions. The story and the rewards are just a bonus for me getting out of my stress of the week. So, I personally, I thought it looked fantastic, and it seems like you guys agree with the expansion. Looks fantastic.
Dude, I bought the Ultimate Edition within within 2 hours of that of the video.
I got home. And within 5 minutes, I got home. I bought it.
I just want to be clear that I think that the presentation was very well done. If you cut out the first 5 minutes of it. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's my only criticism, and that doesn't mean that doesn't mean negativity. That's just how I see it. I agree with you, Gallios. I think it's good. If it didn't ruin the story for you, I think I've been looking forward to Livia finally coming in game for a long time, and I just didn't like the way they did it. And Cora's onto something when she says that they are rushing to close these storylines, because the biggest storyline that they're rushing to close is the dragon story arc. And what is happening is the dragons are being moved from the forefront of Guild Wars 2 story to the background of Guild Wars 2 story. And I'm calling it now. The Norn are going to kill Jormag, and Balthazar is going to kill Kralkatorrik in the next expansion. And everybody's like, no, that's impossible. The world's going to blow up. Well, we're going to find out that Timey's wrong. I
can see a dragon getting killed in this next expansion.
They showed it to us.
Again, maybe against us, or maybe we were like, okay, it's not going to be that bad, and we help. I don't know. But we're racing to stop Balthazar from killing this dragon. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I can see a dragon getting killed.
I'm calling the ending of expansion 2 of Path of Fire now. We are going to be too late to stop Balthazar from killing Kralkatorrik. Balthazar is going to kill Kralkatorrik. As soon as Kralkatorrik dies, the cliffhanger is going to be there's another explosion of magic, because the Norn and Bram will have killed a sleeping Jormag. That's going to leave Steve McBubbles and Primordius, a sleeping Primordius. We're going to have to deal with Paolo Joko. I do not want to ally myself with Paolo Joko. So Paolo Joko is either going to be the focus of Living Story Season 4, which is starting 2 to 3 months after the expansion. From there, we're going to have issues with the magic, but we're not going to see Tyria explode. I have no doubt that Jormag and Kralkatorrik will be killed in this next expansion. Steve McBubbles will be killed. I think we're going to find out that Balthazar is not a rogue god. He is acting on behalf of the Six in this realm. The Six are then going to come back to assist us in killing Steve McBubbles. The player character is not going to have any hand in killing any more dragons. The big bad baddie for Living Stories Season 4 going into Expansion 3 is going to be Paolo Joko. That's going to be the next fight we have. We're going to have to deal with the fallout from 2 dragons being killed in this expansion, but they're rushing to close this, and they're moving on past it. The dragons are done.
I see at least 1 dragon getting killed. I'm not saying it's only one. I'm saying at least 1 dragon is getting killed. We are going to see the other gods.
Yep.
Hopefully it was just there's been some misunderstanding. Balthazar is angry at the other gods. We need to have a sit down. We need to powwow this out and resolve. We need some communication.
Either my theory on the table of Ritlock replacing Balthazar is right. It's still in play. And the thing you're going to hate is Livia, who's a 300-year-old woman who is beyond powerful, who should be beyond powerful because she's been proficient in magic as a necromancer at the very least for the past 300 years, is taking orders from Anise. Which means that the Anise, Jenna, Islissa theory is still on the table.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
I agree 1,000%.
No,
but
why
would somebody who started the Shining Blade take orders from Anise?
they even said in the story she's not fully taking orders. Like, Anise is deferring to Livia at times. And the thing is, like, being in charge is a lot of responsibility and a lot of dictating, a lot of managing. And, like, Livia had her mission. She wants to go find the final Mersat and kill him. And if you are still, for hundreds of years, leading the Shining Blade, like, you can't go on your personal quest.
That's true.
So yeah, she stepped down to say, like, look, I need you, somebody else needs to step up and do this, because I need to go find this guy and, like, kill him dead. So I can't do that if I'm leading the Shining Blade, which is also why, like, she was allowed to go off and do her own thing, because Anise, yeah, is in charge, but she's like you said, she's not going to be like, oh, yeah, no, you're not. Like, no. She's like, yes, mother, okay, go do whatever you want to do. I'm going to, like...
I hate the thought of Anise and Jenna being Lissa. I hate that theory. I don't want that theory. That's not it. That's not it. That cannot be it. It's still on the table.
Because you're stupid. That's why
I'm not stupid. It's not my theory. I don't like this theory.
But you're the one that's like, it's still on the table. It's not on the table. It's not even in consideration. It's a bad theory.
Until it's disproved.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
At any rate, that's what I feel is going to happen. 2 dragons are dying. Kralkatorrik, at the very least, will die. There was a very quick line that Bram is under a lot of pressure to lead the Norn to kill Jormag. They can pretty much get to Jormag, who's sleeping, and kill it. I think,
okay, I'm torn about Bram, because yes, he is under a lot of pressure to go kill Jormag. However, he's got a god that's going off to kill Kralkatorrik, the dragon that his mother couldn't defeat.
That's something, but even if Bram leaves the Norn at this point, he leaves in dishonor, and the Norn go and kill Jormag. So if Bram's not involved, Jormag and Kralkatorrik are both going to die in the next expansion, and the player character is going to be a witness, not actively involved in it. We are not fighting any more dragons in Guild Wars 2, except for the Lieutenant Dragons, and that's what it is. They're going to rush to close that storyline and move on.
I definitely feel like they're wrapping up the dragon storylines, but like...
The dragons will be dead by the end of Expansion 3. The dragons will be no more. We will either fight Palo Joko in Living Story Season 4 and set up the next story, which would be Cantha, because that's where Steve McBubbles is. And that's that. I mean, that's where I see it going. So I'm calling it now. 2 dragons die next expansion, and the player character will have nothing to do with it.
We'll see. We'll see.
I still love the expansion.
Anyways, I think we are avoiding the most important aspect of the expansion pack, and I am calling us out, and I'm not letting this travesty go on any longer. Oh my God, have you seen the ethnic hair?
Yes.
It's
a shame. It's a shame that you can only put it on humans, though.
I know. That needs to be fixed, and I think it will. I don't know why I mean, one, yeah, you got to refit some of it to the other, like the Char and the Asura. It's clearly not going to work for the Sylvari, so they're going to have different ethnic hair come in, hopefully. And maybe part of what they were saying is like, okay, well, it makes sense to have it just the humans first, because like it's just humans over in Alona. But like, yeah, eventually, just like the other hairstyles got ported to Norn, like it's going to get ported to Norn. But stop pooping on my parade of beautifulness. Holy cow. Some of those are amazing. Oh my God. Like, okay. So I will buy you a...
I haven't even looked at them yet.
Oh, they're so good. Okay. So here's the thing. They are very clearly and reasonably African-American hairstyle, or their black hair.
It could be any color you want.
They're any color you want, but they are of that ethnicity of African descent, of Aboriginal descent. They are, because their hair structure is different. Like and I'm not part African American or whatever, so my ethnic hair is different. I'm half Hispanic, so I've got different curly hair. But just seeing it in game, seeing like they've got the one afro that is just beautiful, and they've got one that I've seen somebody has been reposting, and like the most beautiful features on this human female face, and then she's got these big braids coming down her hair. Oh my god! And I'm like, I want it. So it's gorgeous. They are the most beautiful non-white people hair I have seen in game, and I'm so excited for it. And I hope that they keep doing that. And I have said it before, and I said it again. Like, if you need me to come in and you need to take some pictures of my hair so that we can have my hair in game, because we still don't have my hair, but like, that's okay. This is a step forward. I approve wholeheartedly, and I hope that it continues, and I hope they put a lot more ethnic hair in game, because holy, oh my god, it's so good. I can't even. I'm done. I'm gonna go hyperventilate into like a paper bag now. Somebody else talk.
Okay. The other.
I'm bald, so it doesn't matter what color mine is.
Look at this. Look at this. Are you see? Okay. I mean, the viewers aren't seeing, but look at my hair. Look at my hair. I see it.
We're moving on from here. I'm very happy. I am very happy for you that they're going in that direction. The other thing that I want to note from the expansion is that there are a couple things I want to note. The 5 maps that are being released are equal to the size of all of Heart of Thorns maps and all 6 of the Living Story maps put together. So that is the equal size. They are massive maps. The other thing too is they updated the system requirements, and I'm not sure if that is because they improved some stuff on the back end, but the minimum system requirements now call for a quad core, which is strange because Guild Wars 2 basically runs on 1 CPU thread. So I don't know if there's some kind of architecture change in the background that we'll see come in with Path of Fire. I'm hoping that's what it is, and I really hope I'm not reading too much into it, but that was another really cool thing. Overall, I'm very excited for the expansion. I have to say that I do not like moving away from the dragons. I could see why they want to do it. We're 5 years into the game, and we haven't got a very satisfying dragon final fight. And I think it's just too hard to do in the current platform, and I don't like using that. But I mean, it's a bit disappointing for me to think that the dragons are going to be dealt with in the background. I don't believe that there's going to be any real expansion focused on a dragon any further, and that saddens me a little bit. But
I still like my idea of some, and I said it on Twitter. It was like just random thought exercise, and people were like, that's stupid. That would be the worst writing arena that's ever done. I'm like, they didn't even wrote it. It was my idea. You're saying my idea is the worst idea ever. Do you realize that? And it was like, well, if they wanted to wrap up the dragons real quick, like take the Altar of Gloss, which we have from lore already, that we know purifies dragon corruption, and like we know that the dragons are tapped into ley line energy and like feeding on that. And so we've got Omad's machine, and like plug the 2 Omad's machine on the dragon at the altar, and like create like a shockwave that a feedback loop that like sends purifying energy out to the dragons. And now you've got these elder dragons that are purified of their corruption. And somebody was like, well, they're not corrupted. They corrupt things. I'm like, they're totally corrupted.
They're corrupted by the magic. I buy that.
Yeah, they started as baby dragons. Like, this is not like they poofed into existence from nothing. Like, they themselves started as a baby, and then they grew up and were corrupted. And like it's like that. Magics, yeah, and it's that thing of like there's that old. It's a story that I heard, and I cannot remember the source, but it was like you threw a bunch of venomous bugs into a pit, and you let them all eat each other, and you throw in the scorpions, and you throw in the snake, and you let them all fight and duel and eat each other until you got the last one, and it's the most poisonous because it's consumed all the others. Like, that's what the elder dragons are. They were like little baby dragons, and they fought their way through all the bigger dragon, until they became the head honcho who can just eat everybody and is the most evil. So like, if we shockwave feedback loop purifying energy to them, like, then Kralkatork is freed, just like Glint was. Then Jormag is like, oh my god, I cannot believe I killed your gods. I'm so sorry.
What's more likely to happen is, like I said, Jormag is going to be killed by the Norn. Balthazar will kill Kralkatork.
Yeah, and I'm not saying. I'm
Tiny
just saying.
is going to.
My idea.
make another machine that will use Steve's magic to cancel out Primortus's magic, and they will be fizzled into nothing because water
All I
is
was saying was
opposite of fire.
mine was a thought experiment of
Yeah,
if they
no,
wanted
that's
to
fine. That would work
one
too.
hit wonder and the Elder Dragon storyline,
Which is
like
sad.
that would do it. Like that
Oh,
would
yeah.
be
No, I
that
agree.
would close it off real quick, and like it's all within lore of things that already exist, so it's not coming out of nowhere. Like this altar exists, Oman's machine exists. We know they feed on the ley lines. Like those pieces are there. You could make it happen if
it's
you wanted
another
it
possibility,
wrapped up.
and it would work with lore, but it's just sad that it's even a consideration. So that's where I'm at with it, but I'm excited to see the new story. I can't wait. Next weekend, well, this weekend coming up is the preview weekend. This will deal with the map. So you're going to get the Raptor mount and one, I believe, the starter map for Heart of Thorns or for Path of Fire. Just like Heart of Thorns, you're going to get a clone. So whatever you get in the preview weekend is going to be discarded at the end of the preview weekend. So precursors you get, any items that you get, they're locked onto this clone account, and you will not be able to have anything. That's pretty much the reason why I'm staying away from it. Plus, you know, I spoiled myself so much with the leaks that I want to experience the story fresh. And I haven't looked at any of the coverage. I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait till the 22nd of September. And
totally reasonable. It's not that far away.
No, it's not. And that was great, too. That was really nice. To hear that it's coming out in 2 months, I was like, holy moly.
Well, is it even 2 months? Well, I mean, yeah, I guess
it's about 2 months. It's about 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks, yeah. A month and a half.
Yeah. Gallios, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to
close out the show.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to close out the show. And we're back. Whoo! That was a doozy. That was a doozy.
A little long.
Yeah, it was a little long. It's
longer than I thought it would be.
A lot of mixed emotions, yeah. Yeah, I got to be to work in 5 hours. Woo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to cut this short for you.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen. I told you there was a lot to talk about. All right. Gallows, do you have any shout-outs?
I have a shout-out. I got an in-game message from Foul Earth, and I hope I'm saying that right, Falearth. In-game mail, and they were saying that they really loved the show, and they totally enjoyed the Gord rant last week or last episode. So I thought you might enjoy hearing that news. Foul Earth had some really cool ideas for the gym shop, and unfortunately I did not write them down to announce on the show, but I did tell them that I would give them a shout out on the show for the kudos and for the cool ideas on the gym shop. So that's what I'm doing. So thank you very much. We don't have any 5-star reviews this week. Actually, we don't have any reviews this week. And by the way, we don't just say the 5-star reviews. We are willing to say everything beneath that. So far, we had one that came up that was weird and then disappeared the next day. So I have no idea where that came from. Gord thinks it was a troll, but I don't have anything else. That's
like
it.
A literal troll.
No
like
new 5-star reviews. No new reviews, period.
That's okay. Sometimes there's reviews and sometimes there's not.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
Cora, do you have any shout outs?
One, I'm going to give a shout out to my real world friend who got me the expansion and has requested not to be named on the show. Yeah, otherwise I totally say their name, but you know who you are, and thank you. I totally needed that after a poopy day. And then my next shout out is actually to Matthew, and I'm going to say your name wrong because I'm horrible with last names. Semantov. He's at Matt Semantov. He's actually one of the he's a producer at ArenaNet. I made a mini rant on Twitter when I saw the logo for this Path of Fire, because it's all pink and purple and cool, and I'm like, those are my jams. I need that. But like on a girl's cut shirt, because like a woman's cut tee, because men's cut tees are like a pillowcase. They're just boxes, because that's how you guys, apparently your torso is just like a box. And so when a woman puts on a man's cut tee, because that's pretty much all gaming t-shirts are, it fits about as well as an oversized pillowcase. And they're not like, they're great for like, oh cool, I got a new pajama top, awesome, but like it's not good to go out in it because it looks like you're wearing a pillowcase. Even if you want something that actually fits you, like they're very hard to find. So I went on this little rant about like, it's not fair. I want it on a women's cut t-shirt. Like I deserve to have it. And he was like, you mean like this? And sends me a link to We Love Fine. And they've got the new logo for Path of Fire on women's cut tees in like multiple colors. And it was like mind blowing. Like, oh my God, you mean I can have it? Like the fact that ArenaNet has already synced with We Love Fine to be like, yeah, do this thing. Like, acknowledge the fact that we have female gamers and like create a shirt that is comfortable for them to wear. Like, it's sad that most game companies do not think about it. They make the unisex shirt, which unisex shirts are code for men's shirt. So we know this. All women know this. We know what we're getting, because if it was unisex and it fit us, you know what that means? You're going to have boob room, dudes. You're going to have the boob room, and it's going to like be a little tighter on your waist and then like flare out at your hips, and you'd be all mad because it doesn't fit you. But like women would be like, well, it fits me. So what do? You have to make it for like, well, it has to fit everybody. So men's t-shirt, but this one is not. And I was so excited. So thank you, Matthew, for sending that link. Like, lickety split. It was crazy. I was so happy.
All right.
Yeah, that's my shout out. What about you, Gord? Do you have any shout outs? Oh, wait, I lied. I have one more. Token, I'm working on your drawing. It's coming, but I'm in the middle of the move and I cannot find my Sharpie markers. So it's coming. Now you, Gord. Go.
My shout out is to Extra Life. Woohoo! So I'm putting together the calendar for the schedule for my Extra Life campaign. It's going to be on November 4th. I am going to stream for 24 hours or as close to it as I can. So if anybody wants to sync up with me, I'm going to be playing mainly Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. I have open slots on my calendar. I also have other games and stuff. We're going to be doing giveaways courtesy of Romo. Romo donated about, I want to say 28 games to me to use as giveaways for the Extra Life campaign. So we're going to be doing some giveaways and stuff. And, you know, really the best thing that I could ask for is people to come and hang out with me in the wee hours of the morning. That's always the toughest part, where the body is weak, but the mind is not. It would be great to have people hanging out in Discord with me, playing the game with me and stuff like that. So if you are interested in going on stream with me and doing some Guild Wars activities or Guild Wars 2 activities, or even some SWOTOR or, Fallout 4, some other games I'll put out there that I have on Steam, you can send me a direct message on Twitter or on the SOTD podcast Discord, or even send me an email and we'll hook it up. So all the information on Extra Life will be on our webpage. So that's my shout out.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yay.
All right, so let's bring it home. Gallios, if good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can get in touch with me in game at gallios.8142. They can get in touch with me on my Twitter account, which is at Gallios_GW2. Or if you want to check us out on our Discord, you can reach me at Gallios #3334.
Excellent. And Cora, how can the good people get in touch with you?
I am on Twitter at Guildlores. I'm also on Instagram at Guildlores and Discord at Guildlores and basically any social media that's out there. If you search for Guildlores, that'll be me. Find me and chat.
All right. All right. So if you want to get in touch with the show, you can reach us at sotdpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast. And you can find everything you need to know about SOTD Podcast at SOTDpodcast.com. If you want to get in touch with me, you can follow me on Twitter at Gord the Norn. You can reach me in game at Gord.8654. And you can reach me on our Discord at Gord #4133. And everybody's welcome on our Discord. Don't be shy. All right. That's it. That's it.
Good show, man.
Good show. I am pumped for the freaking expansion. I can't wait for it, man. It's going to be awesome. 2 days after my birthday, too.
Oh, it's a present for you.
It is.
Excellent.
It is. I'll be riding a Raptor.
That's the one I picked, too. I thought riding a Raptor would be really cool.
Well, you're going to have to ride them all.
I'm torn between Toothless and the Jackal.
Yeah, you're going to have to ride them all initially. I have a feeling that the maps are as big as they are going to be gated by the masteries for the mounts. So,
for sure.
Which is fine. That's fine. But yeah, that's it. All right, say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.